If you had asked me a year ago, I would have told you my life was perfect. I had a beautiful wife, a successful business, and a home filled with love. Or at least, I thought so. My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 38 years old, a business owner, and, until recently, a devoted husband. For over 10 years, my wife Olivia and I built what I believe to be an unbreakable partnership. We had everything: trust, love, a gorgeous home, and dreams for the future. But all of that shattered with one unexpected phone call. Chapter 1. The beginning of the end, it started with subtle changes. Olivia had always been affectionate, always the one to reach for my hand first, to steal kisses when we passed each other in the hallway. But one day it stopped. At first, I thought I was imagining things. Maybe she was just stressed. Work had been demanding for both of us. She was a real estate agent, and I ran a growing marketing firm. Late nights weren't unusual, but she suddenly had a lot more of them. Then came the secrecy. Her phone, once casually left on the counter, was now glued to her hand. Messages popped up with notifications she quickly dismissed. And she started wearing perfume, the expensive kind I hadn't bought her. My gut told me something was wrong, but I didn't want to be the paranoid husband. Then I got the call. Chapter 2. A stranger's voice. I was in my office when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something told me to pick up. Is this Daniel Carter? Yes. Who's this? There was a pause. Then the voice, a man, said something that made my blood turn to ice. You don't know me, but I thought you should know your wife is sleeping with my brother. My heart stopped. What? I asked, gripping my phone tighter. I've been debating whether to tell you, but I can't let you live in the dark. My brother is an absolute piece of shit. He's been seeing Olivia for months. I felt like the ground had vanished beneath me. Who's your brother? I demanded. Ryan Matthews. I nearly dropped the phone. Ryan was a name I knew well, not just because he was one of Olivia's business contacts, but because he was my best employee. Chapter 3. The investigation. After that call, my mind spiraled. Could it be true? I didn't confront Olivia right away. Instead, I watched. That night, I pretended everything was normal. I kissed her like usual, asked about her day, and when she said she had a late showing for a client, I nodded. Then I followed her. She drove straight past the office, past any real estate property, right to a hotel. I parked at a distance, my stomach in knots as I saw Ryan Matthews step out of his car. She walked right into his arms. I sat in my car for what felt like hours, watching them disappear inside. She was cheating after 10 years of marriage. She was cheating, and she was doing it with someone I trusted. Chapter 4. The plan. Most people would explode, confront them, start screaming. I didn't. Instead, I made a plan. Step 1. I hired a private investigator to gather proof. Photos, videos, timestamps, everything. Step 2. I met with my lawyer. Olivia and I had signed a prenup when we got married, back when I had very little money. But now, as the owner of a multi-million-dollar firm, that prenup was about to save me. Step 3. I prepared for the grand finale. Chapter 5. The perfect betrayal. A few weeks later, Olivia and I hosted a dinner party for our closest friends. Ryan was there, of course. The smug bastard smiled like he didn't have a care in the world. I stood up to give a toast. To my wife, I said, raising my glass. Olivia beamed. To 10 years of love, trust, and loyalty. Ryan smirked. Olivia giggled. And to Ryan, I continued. My most dedicated employee. Ryan puffed out his chest. Then I reached into my pocket and pulled out a small remote. I clicked it. The projector in our living room flickered to life. On the screen, photos, videos of Olivia and Ryan together in hotel rooms in our house. The room went dead silent. Olivia's face drained of all color. Ryan's jaw dropped. Our friends stared in shock. Then, in the calmest voice I could muster, I said, "Olivia, I know everything. Ryan, you're fired. And Olivia, you're served." I pulled out the divorce papers and placed them on the table in front of her. She burst into tears. "Daniel, please, don't." I cut her off. "You made your choice. Now live with it." Ryan tried to speak, but I ignored him. I walked out of my own house that night, leaving them in their shame. Chapter 6. The fallout. The divorce was swift. Thanks to the prenup, Olivia got almost nothing. She tried to fight for half, but my lawyer shut that down fast. Ryan, he lost his job, his reputation, and, ironically, Olivia. She tried to move in with him, but he dumped her within weeks. The last I heard, she was living in a small apartment, working part-time and barely scraping by. And me, I thrived. I moved to a new city, expanded my business, started dating again. For the first time in years, I felt free. Betrayal hurt, but sometimes the best revenge is moving on. Epilogue. Karma's a bitch. A few months ago, Olivia called me. Out of the blue, I let it go to voicemail. Her message: "I made a huge mistake. I miss you. Can we talk?" I deleted it without a second thought, because the truth was simple. She was my greatest mistake, and I had no interest in looking back.